Hello everybody, welcome to the Empressive channel. This is part 2 of my video about singers and entertainers who have been rejected or missed out on major acting roles. If you want to see the first part, I suggest you do because there are a lot of fun facts. But let's get into this video. This is a fun fact. Did you know that Aaliyah was considered for the role of Alex in the movie Charlie's Angels? Yes, it was rumored that she auditioned for the role, but the producers felt like she might have been too young for the role. Also, it was rumored that Foxy Brown was considered for the role as well, but she couldn't do it because of her legal troubles at the time. And Nia Long also auditioned, but they felt like she looked too old for the role.
Charlie's Angels did not want me because they said I looked too sophisticated and too old next to Drew Barrymore.
I didn't get the job. It's okay. It happens. But the feedback was my eyebrows were too sophisticated and I looked too old next to Drew. I don't think this has anything to do with you or your partner or your film company. I think this is just a result of the fear of really putting a Black woman into a film that never cast anyone Black.
The role ended up going to Lucy Liu, who seemed to be a quote-unquote safer option, and she also checked off the diversity box. But it would have been interesting to see the 3 other ladies in that role as well, especially Aaliyah. Aaliyah was also supposed to play Brenda in the movie Scary Movie. However, she turned down her role as Brenda because the role mocked one of her peers in music, Brandy.
Well, one time I got sent the script actually for Scary Movie, but it was a little bit different when I received it. It changed a lot by the time they made it, and it was a parody on the Scream movies, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, and they actually had a character. It was the Brandy character, and they wanted me to play Brandy, and kind of do a parody of her, and I just, didn't actually like the script. I thought it was really funny, but I didn't want anybody to take like I was disrespecting her in any way, so I actually didn't do it. And it turned out to be a really funny movie, but that was like the weirdest thing that anyone had ever asked me to do.
We don't know exactly what was in the original script, but apparently it made Aaliyah very uncomfortable. She also knew how the public would react to her mocking her peer, and she had way too much respect for Brandy to do that. Even though she passed up on Scary Movie, other doors opened for her in Hollywood. She starred in movies like Romeo Must Die and Queen of the Damned, and she was on her way to having a thriving acting career before her untimely passing. She was actually supposed to play Z in the Matrix series, and also she was supposed to play Sparkle in the Sparkle movie.
Aaliyah was supposed to be, yes, in the movie. This was her movie. This was her movie. When we brought it to her, she was so enthusiastic about it, and she wanted it to do it so badly. She was our Sparkle.
Wow.
Yes.
It would take years before Whitney decided to do the Sparkle remake again. The role that was originally supposed to go to Aaliyah ended up going to Jordan Sparks. It was also widely believed that Aaliyah was supposed to play Honey in the movie Honey. However, that wasn't the case. Actually, it was Beyonce who was supposed to play the dancer Honey. Kerry Washington was also up for the role.
Honey actually, it was almost Kerry Washington. That was Honey. It was supposed to be, well, at first, before I even got attached, it was going to be Beyonce, and but she couldn't do it or something. She was just doing her first big tour.
The role of Honey ended up going to the actress Jessica Alba, but in hindsight, you could tell the role was clearly meant for Beyonce. In fact, an IG post from Beautiful Bee pointed out that some of Beyonce's castmates from Carmen, a hip opera, starred in Honey as well. Was that a coincidence? Probably not. In the midst of Beyonce's busy singing career, she was able to partake in several movies, but there were a few big roles that she missed out on. She was actually supposed to be the voiceover actress for Tiana in the movie The Princess and the Frog. The casting director Jen Rudin told New York Post, Beyonce expected an offer, but wouldn't audition and so didn't get one. Tyra Banks and Jennifer Hudson wanted it. Alicia Keys auditioned 3 times. They had to sing, so we made it clear they needed sheet music. Tyra came in with a CD, but it didn't matter because she was so pretty and nice. It went to Anika Noni Rose, who was the most qualified. Anika was, of course, the perfect voice actress for Princess Tiana, but it also would have been interesting to hear Beyonce's vocal interpretation of Tiana. It would have been also interesting if Beyonce starred in the remake of A Star Is Born. In fact, Beyonce was supposed to be a part of the remake. A Star Is Born is a classic movie that has been remade multiple times. It first starred actresses like Janet Gaynor, Judy Garland, and Barbra Streisand. Beyonce was meant to be a part of the modern day version of A Star Is Born, and it was rumored that she was supposed to star along the actor Will Smith. Also, Clint Eastwood was supposed to direct it, but the timing wasn't great for Beyonce because she did get pregnant.
Bill, I know Clint Eastwood and Beyonce were at one time attached to A Star Is Born.
Time just happened. You know, there was a moment where that was the best version of the movie, and then all of a sudden, you know, I mean, Beyonce got pregnant at one point. Okay, you know, do we wait? Do we do this? You know, she was, you know, amazing about all that stuff. She never, you know, she always understood if we were going to take a different direction. And then, you know, Clint went off and did another movie. So things, like we were all saying before, it's the plate spinning.
The role was shopped around to people like Jennifer Lopez and others, but it ended up going to Lady Gaga, and it was a smash hit at the box office. Lady Gaga also won an Oscar for Best Original Song for her ballad Shallow. Lady Gaga, of course, did a great job, but it also would have been interesting to see Beyonce in the role as well. Even Barbra Streisand was interested to see Beyonce in it. More than anything, she was expecting something different from what was done before.
At first, when I heard it was going to be done again, it was supposed to be Will Smith and Beyonce. And I thought, that's interesting. You know, really make it different again. Different kind of music, you know, integrated actors. I thought that was a great idea. So I was surprised when I saw how alike it was to the version that I did in 1976.
Well, that's probably a compliment to you.
I don't know, but I thought it was the wrong idea. I don't care so much about success as I do originality.
Although Beyonce missed out on some coveted roles, she had other major film moments like The Lion King, Obsessed, Cadillac Records, and the Oscar-winning musical Dreamgirls. The Dreamgirls was originally a successful Broadway production that went to the big screen. Before Beyonce was considered for the role of Dina in Dreamgirls, Whitney Houston was actually the first contender. In the late 80s, she was supposed to play Dina. However, that didn't quite work out. According to The Wrap, Whitney not only wanted to sing Dina's parts, but she also wanted to sing Effie's parts, especially the song And I Am Telling You. And she was very capable of doing both, but it would have been a little too complicated. Whitney ended up turning the role down and the movie was delayed. Years later, the filmmaker Joel Schumacher wanted Lauryn Hill to play Dina in 1998, but the movie was delayed again because Joel's other movie, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, bombed at the box office. Based off of that, I guess the production company didn't have much faith that the Dreamgirls would be a success. It would take almost another decade to pass before Dreamgirls finally got a chance to hit the big screen. And this time the role landed in Beyonce's lap. And Beyonce pursued the role with all of her heart. She even went to the auditions dressed in full costume. The extra effort she put in helped her beat out the competition and snag the role of Dina. But there was some more competition for another major role, and that was the role of Effie. The filmmaker Joel had his sights on Kelly Price first, but later on, other entertainers like Patina Miller, Raven Simone, and Fantasia Barrino auditioned for the role.
I was younger, and so they were casting Effie. I wasn't an Effie, but I was like, okay, why not? Like, let me just audition, you know? I got picked to be a finalist, and so I didn't end up getting it because it wasn't for me.
I love when things don't go my way. Like when I auditioned for Dreamgirls and the next girl in line slayed it. She won an Oscar for that. I can't even debate it.
You had to audition for Dreamgirls. And Fantasia Barrino, who won that year, she was also up for Dreamgirls, right?
She was.
And you probably said psychologically, oh my God, she won, so they're probably going to choose her, right? That was, you probably went in there thinking that.
At the time, I probably didn't know until like at the very tail end of the audition, because it took 6 months to get the role, and it was 782 other people other than myself that auditioned. They we searched like the world. Bill Cunningham said I was the only person he felt something from.
After 3 callbacks, Jennifer Hudson eventually got it, and she allegedly had to gain 20 pounds and get lip injections to do it. But for Jennifer, it was well worth it because it catapulted her acting career, and she won several major awards, including a Golden Globe and an Oscar for Best Supporting Actress. Now, I want to talk about how the actress and singer Zendaya escaped a role that could have been a huge mistake in her career. But before I do, I first want to thank Sonic Bonnet for sponsoring this video. The Sonic Bonnet is not your everyday bonnet. It's a luxuriously silky bonnet with the power of Bluetooth technology. Built into its breathable elastic headband are a set of Bluetooth earphones, so you could start, pause, and play sounds from your phone, answer calls, and more, all with a tap of a button. The Sonic Bonnet is the perfect companion for your daily self-care and hair care routine. Once you tuck your hair into its comfortable, silky head cap, you'll be sold. Indulge yourself in this nightly beauty regimen and sleep soundly and sweetly with your favorite sleep sounds, music, podcasts, and audiobooks. And guess what? You'll never have to worry about losing your earbuds. The Sonic Bonnet earphones are USB chargeable with over a 3 nights charge and are easily removed and replaced for when you want to wash your bonnet. This self-care is for the mind, body, and hair. Treat yourself to a Sonic Bonnet today at sonicbonnet.com, and while you're at it, grab a gift for a friend or a loved one. I honestly can't think of a cuter gift. Take advantage of the free US shipping on all orders over $50 now at sonicbonnet.com. Once again, I want to thank Sonic Bonnet for partnering with me and sponsoring this video. Moving on to another more widely known fact, Zendaya was supposed to play Aaliyah in her biopic, but she turned the movie down. Now, there was already a lot of controversy around Aaliyah's biopic because the family didn't approve of it, and also the music wasn't licensed for it, and people were upset with the casting. Some people had issues with her being a biracial woman playing a black woman like Aaliyah. Zendaya wasn't really fazed by those critiques, but she was more concerned with the fact that the movie was very disorganized, and she knew ahead of time that it was going to be a hot mess, which is why she pulled out.
Let me just explain something. The reason why I chose not to do the Aaliyah movie had nothing to do with the haters or people telling me that I couldn't do it, I wasn't talented enough, or I wasn't black enough. It had absolutely nothing to do with that. The main reasons were production value wasn't there were complications with the music rights, and I just felt like it wasn't being handled delicately considering the situation, and I tried my best to reach out to the family on my own, and I wrote a letter, but I was unable to do so. Therefore, I felt not really morally okay with moving forward with the project. With all that being said, congratulations to the new woman playing Aaliyah. I only hope that she does not have to deal with half the hate that I had to deal with, and remember that we are all human beings trying to do what we love to do. Let's practice motivation and love, not discrimination and hate, all right? Mwah!
The actress who ended up replacing Zendaya in the movie was Alexandra Shipp. The movie had horrible reviews. The casting was terrible. Aaliyah's music was unable to be used. The story failed to give new insight on Aaliyah, and also people were upset to find out that Wendy Williams was backing the film. It was pretty chaotic. Zendaya made a smart decision not to associate herself with the film. If she did take the role, it would forever be a stain on her acting resume. Now, moving on, there have been some projects that almost kind of happened but didn't actually come into fruition at all. For example, Twitter created this whole idea of Rihanna and Lupita Nyong'o starring in a movie together. One Twitter user with the tag Ebony Hottie said, "Rihanna looks like she scams rich white men, and Lupita is the computer smart best friend that helps plan the scams." This tweet went viral, and people on Twitter wanted this to be an actual movie, including Rihanna and Lupita. Lupita said, "I'm down if you are Rihanna," and she replied and said, "I'm in, Pitts." People also threw Issa Rae and Ava DuVernay's names in the hat, and both Issa and Ava were excited about the idea of creating this movie. But for some reason, this movie still has never happened, and it was a great idea. But Lupita went on to book the box office smash hit Black Panther, And Rihanna ended up starring in another heist movie called Ocean's 8, which was a movie that included an all-star cast. But it would have been really entertaining if the Rihanna and Lupita movie happened. Hopefully sometime in the future it will. Who knows? Also, another interesting story, Mariah Carey entertained the idea of doing a remake of the movie All About Eve with Diana Ross. The idea didn't actually come from her, it actually came from a magazine.
There was an idea that was in a magazine, very popular, won't say the name, and it was about All About Eve, a remake, with me as Eve and Diana Ross as, you know, the Betty Davis character, Margot. And so somebody got really pissed off, and it wasn't even my idea. I was like, it's in a magazine. What do you want me to do? So they got upset. It never happened, but I think that could have been great. And I still think, like, with the things switched, there could be a moment there.
Now, we're not sure who exactly was upset at that idea, but some Mariah fans can guess that it was probably Mariah's label owner and ex-husband, Tommy Mottola. Considering that Tommy was very controlling of Mariah's career and very bitter towards her after their divorce, it's not far-fetched to believe that he would try to stop the project from even happening. Because around the late 90s and early 2000s, he was actively trying to sabotage Mariah's career. But that's a whole nother story for another day. Anyway, those are just some fun facts about different artists who were meant to act in certain projects but didn't get a chance to. Tell me what you all think about these stories down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.